In this video we'll be reviewing the data exchange link between Velit and Petrel, versions 2013, 2014 and 2015. Velit Data Exchange is a Petrel plugin that enables the exchange of data between Velit and Petrel. This enables Velit to run independently of Petrel without taking up a Petrel license. It is supplied free of charge as standard part of the installation. Here we can see a project open in Petrel, and once installed, Velit DE is found in the Processes pane under the Plugins section, like so. If I double click on this, this will open up the link. As this opens, I'm able to go to the top of the Velit DE module and click on File, Velit, and this will give us a number of options. The first of these enables us to launch Velit, although it would usually be preferable to do this outside of Petrel. We can export to a new Velit model, which is the most common option. We can export to an existing Velit model in merge mode, and this will retain the existing data where possible and merge the new data into the existing Velit model. We can also export to an existing model in the replace mode. This will replace the entire data item and not attempt to merge the existing data. Next on the list is export data back to Petrel. This enables surfaces to be transferred from Velit into Petrel. Transfer of velocity volumes is dealt with by importing the relevant segway data directly. Lastly, we have the option here to make Velit files, and this is a utility to dump the data to Velit format ASCII files, although this isn't used often. Now we'll look at loading data into a new Velit model. Velit DE will make a directory called Velit under the Petrel project directory. As this opens, I'll just move the window into the center of the screen here and enter in demo. And this will be the Velit project file name. And I'll click on open like so. On this screen you can see there are two trees. The Petrel view represents the Petrel project tree using the same structure and directory names that exist in the Petrel project. Only the data that is relevant to Velit is included. The Velit view represents the data we wish to transfer into Velit and is of course empty to begin with. The transfer of data is accomplished by dragging an item from the Petrel view tree onto the appropriate part of the Velit view tree. Velit DE will not allow an item to be dropped onto an inappropriate part of the tree. So I'll start here with the well data, and we can drag a well velocity from the Petrel tree into the Velit tree. So I'll just move over here and select the well folder and open the well directory. And here I can left click and drag and hold this across to the wells folder on the middle pane here. And I can just select the plus to see that the wells have all been brought in. A brief reminder of the Velit data and requirements is probably required here. Velit is able to fit functions to any time depth curve data, including calibrated or uncalibrated logs, or even Checkshot data. It is however limited to only one time depth curve per well. Therefore, the data selected for each well should be the curve data that is considered to be the best quality. You can see here that the well option selection preferences enables us to efficiently control the selection of data. The default option, Sonic Log then Checkshot, tells Velit DE to select the Sonic Log in preference to a Checkshot survey. If no Sonic Log is present, the Checkshot survey will be used. As you can see, the other options are self-explanatory. This might be sufficient to select the appropriate data, but often the dataset will include a number of Sonic Logs or Checkshots, maybe from different tools or after editing. Using the tree to manually select particular data can sometimes be cumbersome, so Velit DE also lists the data in the form of a table. The table can be set to display in a number of different modes, making the bulk selection of a particular set of data much easier. The view preference allows the table to be rearranged, and then the data can be selected or deselected in bulk. By default, data is grouped by well, which is convenient if you have relatively few wells. Alternatively, if you wish to select specific log curves, or have many hundreds or even thousands of wells, grouping by log curve name may be more convenient. The next option down is data grouped by curve name, and this enables a set of wells with a common well name to be selected easily by clicking the select box at the top of the column. Equally, we might group by curve type, and this would split the Sonic and Checkshot groups of data. As a final check, we might also group by selected, and this would show the current selected time depth curves. Next I'll show how we can customize the table view below. You can move and resize the column headers around and put them in place, so I'll just move it into the middle and move it back again just as an example. And we can also drag the column header up into the selection box here, and this will show the columns as their type in this example. So this is the check shots and these are the logs, and these are just the selected well preferences. So you can use the table to get a really good control of exactly what data you're bringing into the Velit model before bringing in any other data types. Once you've selected all the well data, we can choose other data to bring into the Velit model. For well markers or formation tops, we can drag the appropriate tops set over to the tops folder in the Velit view. So here I'll just select the tops folder and drag this across to the top section in the Velit pane in the middle here. Seismic navigation is used to transfer 2D navigation data to Velit. Anytime that 3D seismic data is used, such as working with stacking velocities, the 3D survey geometry will automatically be transferred to Velit as well. Here I've just got the 3D time seismic, and I'm just going to drag this across to the seismic navigation folder in the middle here. If stacking velocities have been loaded as a volume into your Petrel project, then we can use this option to transfer the stacking velocity data to the Velit project. Velit requires the stack data at a fairly coarse interval, but it depends on the scale and detail of the mapping. Before looking at the layers, it's probably worth reminding ourselves about how Velit uses layers. The key to building the Velit model is the selection of the interpretation in the form of the surfaces or grids. The model building process begins in Velit DE. We define the number of layers that we are going to use in the modelling process. These layers are defined in chronostratigraphic order, and by opening up the Layers folder we find a Make New Layer button. Pressing this creates a folder to drag and drop the time surface into that layer. As you can see, I just did layer 1, and all I'm doing with layer 2 is again just creating a new layer folder and dragging the time surface into layer 2. And now I'm just selecting on layer 3, opening up the grid flyout and selecting the third grid to go into the corresponding folder like so. We can also bring in XYZ point set data, fault polygons, general polygons and profile interpretation, which brings in the picked horizons for the layer for use in complex profile depth conversions. Once you've gone through the entire project and brought in all of the surfaces, and the layers have been populated with the data we need, we can press Export to New Velit Model. On opening the first time, the model pulls in the selected data. You can then save the Velit model to its own native file format, and load and save the model as required. Once you have loaded the data into Velit, ordinarily you would QC the data and begin working on different depth conversion routines thereafter. For the purposes of this demo though, I'm going to load a dataset whereby I've already completed the depth conversion. Here you can see me selecting the model and clicking Open, but for this stage you would ignore, as you would already have your model built in Velit and would be ready for exporting to Petrel. With your depth conversion completed, you can minimize Velit and select Velit DE from the Processes pane in the Velit tree, and here we can select Velit and scroll down to Export Velit Data to Petrel and select this option. Here you are prompted to select the depth conversion file that you've created in Velit, and here I will load my demo after depth conversion file and click on Open, and this will load the data into the tree like so. I'll just expand the Velit view and then the Petrel view, as you can see. It can be noted that the file trees are reversed when exporting data back into Petrel, and I'll just expand the Layers folder like so. Here in the Grid Event folder we can see the relevant layers that have been created within Velit, and I can left click and drag and hold and drop them onto the Services panel. I can then look at the events created for layer 2, and again selecting the relevant data types I can move these into the Surfaces pane and proceed through each layer in the same fashion. Lastly, I'll just select layer 3 and drag these across. At this stage in your model you may have many more surfaces to bring across from the various layers that you may have, and any other data that you might want to bring in follows the same procedure of dragging and dropping from the left hand side into the central view. Once you've completed this process and you're happy to proceed, you simply select the Export Velit Data to Petrel option at the top of the screen here, and on clicking that, that'll then send the data into the Petrel model. So I'll just select this now. Once that button has been selected, we can close the Velit DE link by pressing the X in the top right corner and selecting Yes when prompted. The link has created a Velit Surfaces folder in the Import selection of the Petrel Tree, and selecting this at the bottom here, we can see the current layers that we've brought into the model. I will conclude the presentation here, and I hope you found it interesting and informative, and it will help you bring data backwards and forwards between Velit and Petrel easily. Thank you for attending this presentation. If you have any other questions, please do not hesitate to contact us at support@equipoisesoftware.com or visit our website www.depthconversion.com. You can find other Velpac, Velit and seismic inversion related videos on our YouTube channel, Equipoise Software. Thank you very much for watching.